Hey everyone, a really warm welcome back. This quick video is in addition to my little compendium of combined high or well possibly low lights of arriving at a particular site, and then a little tour of what's there so you get a good feel for a place if you're considering a number of different locations for your booking. Anyway, for a more detailed approach video, please do check out the Legs Down channel. Richard maintains a fantastic collection of really extensive and useful instructional videos. I certainly get a lot out of them, so a massive thanks to Richard. I'll pop a link card above, and there's also a link in the video description. You're currently looking at the A1M heading north away from the M25, so that's behind us. If you're travelling south on this A1M, I believe the final approach is the same, so it's just junction 9 for the A505 that we need, and it's nice and simple from this direction. So head for Royston and Baldock and basically stay on the A505 until we get to the second turn for Ashwell Village, and that's where the club site is situated. And this second turn, as we'll see in a moment, is really important. The A505 is a really smooth and easy road. It's dual carriageway all the way, just a couple of roundabouts there at the beginning, but it's open and there's quite a few bridges and tunnels and so on. I imagine it can get a little windy along this road though. If you're flat-sided, obviously that might be an issue. There are also quite a few lay-bys, 2 or 3 of them I think, so if you're running ahead of schedule, please stop in one of those and don't be that annoying, thoughtless person who turns up far too early, causing traffic chaos and hassles for the wardens. Yes, none of my viewers would be that person, would they? So eventually we come to a turning labelled Ashwell. Whatever you do, do not turn down this lane. You'll end up going through the lanes and then having to come back through the village centre, and lots of thin bits with on-street parking and so on. And the turn up into the lane that the club site on is really tight, so it's going to be quite difficult from that angle. Turning left into it is going to be quite a challenge. So do not turn down this first one, just labelled Ashwell. Carry on until you get to the second Ashwell turn, and this one is labelled Station and Quarry, so that gives you a hint that it's a much more sensible road for bigger vehicles. You get a small slip road, but it is still pretty abrupt, especially coming from dual carriageway speeds, and you need to give way, so be careful exiting the A505 here. Then there are a couple of chicanes, and a little further on you need to turn left. Now this is a bit confusing because the road you're on is called Station Road, as is the one directly in front of you and the one to the left. Don't ask me, it sounds entirely bonkers. So you want to go left onto Station Road, not straight on onto Station Road. Then after about 1.5 miles you start to get into more of a residential area, and the site's just here on the right. As I said, it's quite a tight turn, especially if you've got a large rear overhang. Try saying that without sniggering after a glass of wine. And the distance between the drop curves isn't actually that wide, so you've got to be quite precise. So do take it steady. The max unit size is 8.5 metres. Then a little bit further along this lane, just at the end of the tarmac, the site is on the left. Plenty of room when there's not a BT high lift and various vans fixing things. But please note there is no late night arrivals, so if you're stuck, and if you can do so safely, obviously call ahead so the wardens aren't worrying about you. Okay, and then we're into the site, and as you'll see, it is an extremely small and simple site. Just 25 hard standing pitches, and the rest are grass. That brings it up to 39 when all the grass pitches are open in the spring and the summer. So now I'm going to switch over to some footage I recorded whilst I was out on my bike, as it is so much clearer and cleaner. You'll be able to see much better what the site looks like. When I was here, the boiler in the utilities block was having an issue, but the team still managed to keep one of the 2 showers in the ladies open, and the same for the wash basins. I presume it might have been the same in the gents, but I didn't like to scandalise anyone by going to check. So we've just set off from the service point and the motorhome point, with the utility block behind us, and then we're just going to drive in a loop because that is basically what the site is. Also, there's no point recording footage of the facilities blocks in the Caravan and Motorhome clubs because they are all very much of the same sort of standard, even if they are a slightly different layout. This one is perhaps coming up for a little bit of renewal, as it's not the most designer chic. But Caravan and Motorhome Club blocks I found are always perfectly functional and absolutely scrupulously clean. This one has movable shower heads, which is much easier to use, I think, so that was a really good point for here. As always, there's a pot wash and laundry facilities and so on. Rubbish and recycling are a bit weird because everything goes in together other than glass, and then it's sorted at the council facility, so you don't have to worry about storing things separately. Okay, and we're back at the service point at the end of our loop. And the last bit of footage is from my extra long selfie stick, otherwise known as the nosy pole. So here are pictures 32 to 39, looking lovely and spacious on this little grass park, quadrangle, something. Anyway, looking lovely and spacious. One slight downside of being over here is that you need to cross the entrance road and walk through that little path by reception to get to the service point. It's not far, but it might be a bit of an issue for some with a slightly restricted space. Also, you're outside the security barrier if that matters to you. Alright, so that's it. I hope it was useful having everything put together in one small video, so you can see arriving and the site itself. I really liked this site. It was sort of small and friendly, and people actually said hello to me before I had a chance to say hi to them, and they were a bit more chatty. And that's not something that tends to happen on some of the bigger sites, although we have been there in busier times. People are perfectly friendly and say hello, but you know, that's it. I guess here people are making an extra special effort to get on because everybody knows which caravan or motorhome or campervan or whatever belongs to everybody else. It's so small, so people make the extra effort. Anyway, that was great. There are a few things to do around here. So Cambridge isn't far away. The Imperial War Museum at Duxford isn't far away either, and there's a nice little stroll. I think it's about 1.2 miles from site across to Arbury Hill Fort that I mentioned in the other video about coming here. I don't think there's anything to see at the Hill Fort, so it's more for the stroll, which is supposedly pleasant. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little short format video. Helps you to get a feel for the particular site in case you're thinking of coming here. And thanks for tuning in. Do remember to do all the thumbs up things that everybody is supposed to ask you to do. Anyway, thanks for your company. Do leave me a comment below, and I'll catch you in the next one. So bye for now. See ya.